What's up, fam? So I'm on my way to meet up with somebody who I think you really need to get to know. And actually, I'm gonna do this. Fucking air conditioner is loud as shit. We're gonna meet up with somebody who has been very influential to a lot of people in magic, and I think you guys should get to know him. So I'm gonna try to get him to get on camera and talk about some of the stuff he does. And if you don't know who it is, you'll find out in a minute. So see you in a little bit while we get there. Start over. If you don't know who Garrett Thomas is, shame on you. I know you don't know who he is. Shame on you. Garrett's probably influenced some of the greatest magicians around, and he's sold some of the greatest tricks too. So when it comes to anybody that you ever see doing that thing with the ring where they take it off and then, right, they do that shit, he's the one who invented it.
The one that I like now, I don't see many people doing because it puts some sleight of hand back into it. What got popular was the one with no sleight of hand whatsoever. Right. So it's the easiest to do, but the easiest doesn't mean the best.
Didn't I say that? Huh? Now Garrett's saying it. Come on.
I mean, it's sometimes easy works, but there's a cost. So you want to find the balance. You know, magic doesn't have to be difficult, but it has to be smart. But sometimes the smart thing is difficult.
Imagination coins.
Yeah.
Another thing Garrett did, which is godly, and it's not fair. Was that part of a bigger routine?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, imagination coins was originally just basically Roth's coins cross.
Okay.
And it was in the middle of my big coin little purse act because I had all the tools necessary within the routine of big coin little purse. So I just kind of did that. You know, it's like you almost like, I have the potential of doing everything, so you overdo it.
Right.
And then I realized nobody was telling the story about the coins cross. All they remembered was the coins getting bigger and smaller, and I was wasting their time and my time because they didn't have a story. So I took coins cross out and said, you know what, you deserve more, you deserve your own spotlight. I'll get back to you later. And I put it on the back burner. And then I realized that my big coin little purse routine was all about the coins getting smaller and bigger.
Yeah. So
this transposition had no place in that routine anyway. I justified for a while hanging coins in the context of the routine, but today I do hanging coins, then pause, then do big coin little purse, then maybe 3 tricks later, if I want to empower people, I'll pull out imagination coins. The original imagination coins was 4 phases, and it was too much. I took out those phases because Paul Harris said to me, I like that routine, but one phase is better than the other and you're wasting their time. Hit them and walk away. So I tried to figure out what one phase of the 4 was the best.
Right.
And then I realized that the energy from me to you is different than you to me. That's 2 different transpositions. So much so that Roth said to me that this is no longer coins cross. And he said that this should be called imagination coins. So anytime the coin goes from you to the spectator, it's a total different feel. And he acknowledged that.
Right.
Because I always kind of gave him credit for coins cross being the inspiration, which it was. And still, I would give him credit.
Of course.
But he said, nope, the energy is different.
I don't know if you guys have been listening closely, but he never says layman. He never says real people, right? All these words that some of you guys use?
I could say it.
Yeah, you could. But that's not the
It'd be a
point.
lie.
That's not the point, right?
Everyone's real people. You know what? I do have this robot that is.
Well, me too. It's for the nighttime.
Yeah, those are expensive. But even them, I perform for her like it's like it's as real in my heart.
As long as the batteries are fresh.
I fall prey to the same psychological traps. You should always aim high and do not dumb it down for what you would call lay people. And do not step it up from, or try to do something clever for magicians, because we're all human. And if it works, it works. If you shoot high, you'll get it. If you shoot low, you might not give them enough. So always do your best and aim high. Whether you think it's, oh, I could probably do something simpler for this person.
Right.
No, do your best for whether, and don't like say to a magician, well, can I show you my lay pattern? Like, be with me in this moment.
Right.
Know that I know what you're doing, and let's dance. Let's enjoy it. Let's, who cares that I know you're going to do this move or that move? I know a rainbow is refracted light. It's still beautiful. Right. Right. I don't unsee the rainbow because I know how it's done. I still can appreciate the structure and the beauty, and you don't have to act like I'm not, perform for me, and I'll perform for you.
You'll hear people say, this doesn't work in the real world, or laymen, and I don't do this for magicians, and I don't do this for laymen. And there's this big segregation in thinking that there's two shows to work for when most people can't even perform for one of them.
It's kind of like somebody that says, I can't learn to draw.
I can.
You could.
No, I can't.
You could.
I can't.
Because you say you can't, you can't. Right. So when you have that mentality, you're right. You're right. It won't work for laymen. But if you stop saying that, it will work for everybody. You're framing your own reality. When you program yourself with that attitude, you're gonna fail.
Every time I start talking, another siren.
Maybe you are the cause. Maybe your voice is so hot,
soothing,
that it's starting fires all over New York.
I think people who don't understand what they're really doing with magic tend to use the layman excuse.
It is an excuse
to cover their weakness.
You say that excuse and it's not true, but then you believe it's true, and then it becomes, it's not a crutch, it's a wall. I used to give the restaurant a deal and I got tips, and then I realized that if I'm working for tips, I'm looking around at watches and belts and shoes, and I'm not going to the people that need me, I'm going to the people that I think could tip me best. Right. So I might pass up a table who's got a third wheel. Two girls are talking, guys bored out of his mind. I can complete that table and make them have a great time with 4 people, and then give them something to talk about, so when I leave, they're all united, and that trinity would work. I might skip a good place for me to smooth out their evening for the guy who had the Rolex. I realized I can't do that. By not paying me enough, I'm not doing my job. Right. My job is a glorified host. And so that mentality, that mindset, even though I was aware of it, still I couldn't help it because I needed the money. Right. So you gotta be careful what you say, because it becomes true to you, even though it's totally not true. There's no such thing that's different between lay people, real people. We're all people. And we all have the same type of filters. If you go into it with this mindset of, this is what I would do for a lay person, even though this is my magician friends, it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hold you back mentally, and you won't be able to push forward.
You heard it here first, guys. Stop using the word layman.
You don't want to even think about layman. You don't even want to think about audience. It is a dance, a conversation between you and one person. Even when I'm performing for a larger show, I try to hook on to one person and have an honest exchange with them, and then everyone else becomes voyeuristic, and then I complete that connection with them, and then I can transfer to someone else. You know, here's a cool tip. If anyone goes, dude, show that trick to my friend, and you don't want to because A, you don't want to repeat it, B, you're not ready because you just did it. So you're not, it maybe doesn't reset fast. But it doesn't matter. Start to act like you're going to. Whatever, you know, show that to Bob. Okay, cool. Actually, wait, you said your name's Bob? What do you do for a living? Oh no, you gotta see this. And now, Bob's like, oh wait, well, this one's for me, right? And by not treating them like audience members, by not treating them as laymen, not treating them as spectators, as a human being that I want to give Bob something. You know who you are, Bob. I want to give that person something, and the moment I go, no, I got something special for you. I think you'll like this better. I know that was great for you, but he needs this. It doesn't matter. He'll find a reason it means more to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did need that. Just give of your heart, and the message will be there. But now, it's not a layperson, it's me hanging out with Bob. Bob deserves magic. I want to give it to him. He does. You don't know Bob.
I know Bob.
What about Bob?
He comes every Thursday, sits in the same spot, orders the same food, and then he talks about my mother.
Any art form, I always say this, is an excuse to meet another human being. I'm using magic to meet my audience so that I can learn more about myself. My audience comes to see me and other artists to learn more about themselves. And in that exchange, we grow. That's why art is subjective, because it's a reflection under yourself. You have identity because of the art you choose to say you like and don't like.
What do you say to those people who say that magic is not art?
You have to have a very specific definition of what art is. Because to me, art is anything that we do to express ourselves that's not for survival, procreation, or, you know, not for the basic needs. So clothing is not just to protect ourselves from the elements, so now that's an art. And there is an artist that designed this.
Right.
You know, and is that an art? Yes. Is there a craft to it? Yes. And that's I mean, the problems we have with these distinctions, I don't think they matter at all. A human being taking time to share something with another human being, that's all that matters. You know, the real magic is that we trick people into a moment and that we force them to analyze the moment. Magic is not a passive art. You can't just put on magic in the background and watch it. You'd miss what the effect is. It is a very interactive art. It's more like a documentary where you're learning. And in that moment, you force them to watch closely, and all the distractions, the fire engines and motorcycles riding through, all those go away, and you're in the moment with your art, with the gift, with this experience, and then you make them question. You tell them there's a trick to it. It's magic, so it's not real, yet it's real, but it wasn't real, but it couldn't be real. When they go, I'm smart enough to know that can't happen, yet it happened. That's where you get them in that astonishment mode. Giving them that moment is really the exchange. That's what makes it beautiful. If you want to call that art, I think magic is an art. I think we also have a lot of work to do because magic can also be used to con people. So to establish it as an art, you have to guarantee a society that it's not going to be misused to take away from society. So let's say we fund more magicians, and all of a sudden we have more 3-card money workers in the city. Was funding magic a benefit?
Not really.
Not really. We need to put a dramatic wedge between the gift of astonishment moment, a beautiful, I call it abstract performance art. It's really what magic is. Salvador Dali never wanted you to believe there was a melting clock in the middle of the desert, but he wanted you to experience it. A magician is not trying to convince you that this moment is real. He just wants you to experience it. That has value. The value of experiencing a fourth dimension, the value of experiencing virtual reality within reality.
Next time on A Moment with Garrett Thomas.
If you have a time that you want them to think it is a trick deck, well, then it becomes the best line to use.
Tony Chang, your thoughts?
Good.
This is my lay people walk.
I don't know what to do right now. That was amazing.
Listen, I don't do this slow. Going no.
No, wait, what?
I only ate half of the duck sauce soup.
Clicky and the boingy boingy. What? Yeah, you gotta have that. Without the boingy boingy. Oh yeah, no, on the bottom that little worry stuff. Yeah, but that doesn't always spin. You gotta make sure it spins.
No, it's just a notch.
Yeah, no, that's the worry stuff. Yeah, but swirly.
Swirly.
Yeah, I was swirling your notch.
Do you hear this shit?